What's up everybody and welcome back. So if you've been watching my channel or following me at all, you know that I've been building a 57 Chevy Bel-Air for quite some time now. And right now I have it off of the chassis, the body off of the chassis and on a rotisserie, so I feel like it's a good opportunity to show you the custom floor I built and why I built it. So here it is. I built from the firewall all the way back to the trunk. I made a inner cove here because the motor sits back in there. Driveline tunnel or transmission tunnel, driveline tunnel, and then up and over the rear end and to the trunk. Now this is all 1x2 inch rectangular tubing, 0.060 thickness, or wall thickness, and it's all molded. We'll go over and I'll show you the Art Morrison chassis here in a second, but I built this structure to the chassis, and then I bead rolled all the panels and then tack welded them to this structure. I wanted a strong structure to like give it strength and rigidity and have mounting points for all the body mounts. Now all the body mounts are all these holes right here. These are weld nuts I got from McMaster Car. I put those in, and everything bolts up right to the chassis. All the body mounts. So there's no nuts or nothing that show. Just the head of the bolt goes into the frame structure. The transmission tunnel or driveline tunnel, I cut circles out on my CNC and then cut them in half and built these pieces by hand. Those are four pieces each of them, and then I got little sections down here on both sides. That's where my fuel lines go. This right here is my fuel filter, holds my fuel filter. But yeah, right now I'm getting ready to cut this out right here because it does not fit very well. It's not very tight up against the fender well. I already did it on this one. I cut this out. I took a piece of sheet metal, bent a 90-degree in it, 1 inch on each side, and then used the shrinker stretcher to make it follow the floor and then follow the wheel well, and it fits much nicer, much tighter. So that side is done. Now I'm getting ready to do this side. So yeah, but let's walk around and I'll go into the inside of the car, and then see all the bead rolled beads are in there. Now this is 16 gauge cold rolled steel, so it was very difficult. It warped on me a little bit with putting the beads in there, so I had to come in and torch shrink it to get it to tighten up, but it worked out. So multiple panels, all welded in, tack welded in, or spot welded in, and then this piece right here is where all my wiring goes. All my wiring goes right through here and on up and into the dash, and everything is sealed or hidden underneath the center console. Again, these are mini tubs. They're 2 5/8 inch wider than regular tubs, or than the normal stock wheel tubs. So got a little bit, went from a 10-inch wheel to a 12-inch wide wheel in the back. I made this piece, this cross member piece, and the braces to hold all that stuff up. Here's where the battery goes. There's where the amplifier goes. So everything's hidden inside the car. But you can see right here, like, this is why I'm redoing this, or making the flange, because it doesn't fit properly inside there. It's really loose, not tight, like this one. This one's really tight all the way back, and that's how it's supposed to look. That's how it's supposed to be. Not like that. So still a lot of work to do in here, smoothing it out, but like, this is all covered anyways. It's gonna be covered up with carpet, or get all sanded down and undercoated, and then covered with carpet, sound insulation, stuff like that. But now we'll go to the trunk and I'll show you more of the trunk. So again, much tighter, how it's supposed to be. Why I'm making the flanges to do it. So when I built the floor originally, I built it to stock wheel wells, and then I ended up had to take those wheel wells out anyways. So I opted to put in the mini tubs, and then I had to just try and bend this metal over, and it didn't fit properly. So that's why I'm cutting it out and making the flanges and shaping it to the wheel well, and then I'll weld it back in. That's gonna be the next video that I'm gonna start here after this is over. So make sure you check that one out. But yeah, that's my custom floor inside the 57 Chevy Bel-Air that we're doing. A lot of work, a lot of time, but totally worth it. Now, the reason why we did that, go over here, is this. All right, this is an Art Morrison Tri-5 Chevy chassis, supercharged LS3 motor with a Whipple supercharger on the way in the mail. I just ordered it. Tremec 6-speed manual transmission, Borla exhaust, 2.5-inch exhaust, stainless with Candiget exhaust cutouts, independent rear suspension. Exhaust comes up and through around the rear end and the suspension, and it does not interfere with the travel at all. Most cars that I've seen, this is the first time I've ever seen one where the rear end, the exhaust has come up and over through when you got a chassis like this. Most of the other ones I've seen, they've come underneath the rear end. Rick's fuel tank, stainless steel fuel tank. But so this is the reason why I decided to do the floor. The floor needed repairs. There was rust in it, obviously, as most of these cars have. But when I went to test fit the body on this chassis, I knew I was going to have to do some modifications. The directions say you're going to have to do modifications. So the first thing I had to do was cut out the rear end. So I cut out for the rear end and got the body sitting down. Then my problem was, so I had most of my body mounts, a lot of my body mounts in the back were mounted up, but then the 4 upper body mounts, that one, and that one, they were like 1.5 to 2 inches off high. And I think these ones back here were not really touching either. And if you tilted the body to make these ones touch, then those ones didn't touch. So that's why I opted to cut the entire floor out and just build my own. Because if I would have put a stock floor in there, then I'd have had the same issues. So to me, it made more sense to build a frame structure to the chassis with all the body mounts. I had the floor structure bolted to the chassis, and then I started building all my panels. Built all my panels and started welding them all together, and then set the body down onto it, and then started welding the floor to the body while I was sitting on the chassis and bolted down. So I knew everything was gonna fit and work properly. But yeah, that's how I did it. This is my first time ever building a custom floor or taking a car to this level. This is only the second car I've ever built. The first car I built was my 66 Chevelle that I have. That if you've been following me, you've seen that I've had that car for a long time. But then this car is the first car that I've ever built for a customer, and am going this far into it. Like this has gone a lot further than what we initially expected to go. But when you're putting an Art Morrison chassis in a car, you can't just half-ass it. You got to go all out, right? So that's why we did what we did. If you have any questions about it, leave a comment, shoot me a message, and I'll make sure to get back to you and answer those questions. But that's going to be it for this one. Just a quick short explanation of my floor and how I did it and what I did to build it. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, notification button. Catch you on the next one.